Are we allowing illegals to vote in our elections? And if they are, you should be a little concerned no matter who you're voting for, right, Rude?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This is crazy. Let's get in some stuff here real quick and talk about this because we've got important things coming up in the next couple of weeks that we got to hopefully save our country. And how you're looking at it, it would or it won't. So
Yeah.
let's get into this.
Scary.
Welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast. Over here to my right is my good buddy Rude.
I'm the Rude. What's up, gang? And we got on the ones and twos. We got the barn on the ones and twos.
Right over here, brother.
Ready,
I don't know who
ready,
this is
ready to
behind
bring
me,
you
but I'm
the news and the
scared.
scary stuff. Scary stuff that isn't that doesn't have to do with paranormal.
No.
It has to do with living, breathing people and machines.
Machines. The world will be run by machines.
You saw the new robots came out, right?
Oh, I saw the Boston Dynamics had a new one out. I hadn't looked at the video yet. I've seen the old ones, which are freaky scary as much as it is right now, and I haven't seen it. What's going on with this new one?
I mean, the new ones. Elon, he did that whole release, and there was a big to do about it, and it's creepy, man. It's super creepy, and they're getting almost too lifelike. But my thing is okay. So living beings have a soul, right?
Right.
And you can't just insert a conscience, some that thing, all right?
Right.
And people believe it comes from different places, and I'm not one to judge you on where you think your soul comes from, but you can't insert a soul into a robot. So basically,
no matter how hard you try.
Yes, it's black and white. It's go or stop, or you know what I mean? And that's basic. I mean, we've worked on computers long enough to know it's all ones and zeros.
Yeah.
And so you can't turn ones and zeros into a conscience, and you can't turn it into a soul, and you can't turn it into having feelings. I hope not.
You could try to program it, but it's going to reflect the bias or the feelings or the opinions of
exactly. Right. Exactly.
So you're not going to get an unbiased opinion about anything if that's not been programmed into the machine.
And that leads us into programming and programming machines. And let's hear what you got to what you brought to the table for us.
That's what we bring to the table today. Yeah, so basically there's a lot of things going on with voter registration, with applications, with different things like that. So I'm just going to rock and roll through a few of these real quick and see if we can get to the point here that we're trying to say is and we're going to mix them in. We're going to have a little bit of our voting machines, and we really probably should go back to paper ballots and not do mail-in in certain places. I mean, I just did a mail-in, but I specifically requested it. My signature is on their file; they can match it and stuff like that. But when they're just sending them out willy-nilly to everybody to vote, there's major fraud. And I just saw a video yesterday of a postal worker who was captured by a gal who was taking the white bucket things of mail and dumping them in a dumpster, and he did like 4 or 5 of them. I don't what was in the ballots, people's social security checks, bills from your utility. I mean, it could be anything, and he's just chucking them because of a ballot thing. Maybe it was interesting.
I don't know. I would hope that, again, like we said, robots don't have conscience, but people do.
Right.
And if you are doing something like that for nefarious purposes,
Mhm.
Number one, I believe that, karma, the universe, God, whatever, is going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
hopefully he goes to jail for that shit.
Yeah. And number two, I would hope that you don't sleep again
Yeah.
at all at night
Right.
because you're doing something horrible.
Yeah. Thinking you're doing good and you're not.
Right.
Yeah. So
And and,
this
and for
we're
either side, you know what I mean?
yeah.
We're not taking sides here on that subject.
Yeah.
If you're dumping vote, ballots, signed, filled out ballots for the red, if you're dumping them in garbage cans, you're doing a horrible thing. If you're doing it for the blue, you're doing a horrible thing. It doesn't matter
Doesn't
which
matter.
side. What it matters is you're not doing our country,
Right.
humanity, or yourself, to put it straight, you're not doing anybody any favors.
Oh. And we're just
You're not
and we're turning into what we chastise in the world. We are
right.
turning into those third world dictator type countries like Maduro down in Venezuela, what he's done. Kim Jong Il, Un, whatever, in North Korea, uh, Xi Jinping in China. I mean, these people are, they do what, and it's sad because we're doing the same thing, but they're doing what they need to do to stay in power, and it should be very disturbing. And whichever side you're on, and this is, I'm mostly kind of talking to Democrats because you seem to want to be okay with a lot of the things as long as your team is winning, as long as
Right.
it benefits your side or your point of view. Now, not all of you, I'm not saying that, but there's a hell of a lot of people that I've talked to who seem to just turn a blind eye and walk around with blinders on, thinking that everything, as long as it's for their team, and if you're a Republican, you're doing the same thing, you're just as bad. And I will chastise you as well, but you're just as bad. And we cannot let that happen because what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and things flip. This happened with the filibuster, and it came back to bite the Democrats in the ass because they wanted to eliminate the filibuster years ago. I think when Obama was in office, for
Mm.
one thing, and now you listen to Kamala, and she wants to sit there and get rid of the filibuster because she's not getting the results she wants. It's interesting how this is all working. And you can't, and getting rid of the filibuster, if people don't understand, is it's getting rid of the minority number of votes or opinion. So only like the Californias and the New Yorks and the Illinois, only the big states will have a say so. And, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, whatever,
Yeah.
won't have a say.
Yeah.
So this shit's got to stop on both sides, and we've got to clean this up because this is ridiculous. So we have issues with the voter registration. We have issues with ballot harvesting. We have issues with illegals, people who are non-citizens voting, and we can't have this going on. So here's a little bit going on that she's talking about, and we'll move on from there. We got a bunch to go through.
Here at 7 o'clock, I'm Ellen McNamara. The state
Hey,
Supreme
Ellen.
Court has just ruled that nearly 98,000 people whose citizenship documents had not been confirmed can vote in all races during the
What?
November election. So that means federal, state, and local. The court's decision comes after the Office of the Maricopa County Recorder uncovered a database error that for 2 decades mistakenly had designated these people as having access to the full ballot.
Mistakenly?
Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer sued the Secretary.
Do you believe that? Mistakenly?
How the hell do you not fix these problems or these systems or databases or whatever the fuck? You've got 4 years every time to do
I know.
this. Can
These
you
people are
not have?
pathetic.
I mean, yeah. Can't you set up like a mock election just to make sure the systems, whether it be people, whether it be machines, whether it be computers, can't you do that like a test run?
Yeah.
before the
You would
actual
think,
fucking election. God damn, these people are stupid.
because this shit is going to affect everybody, Democrat, Republican, Independent alike.
Yeah.
And we can't have this shit going on. This is fucking bullshit. And I'm sorry, I'm getting pissed, but you should be pissed.
Yeah. We all
People
should
be pissed about this.
because the thing is they're okay. So this story came out, but how many other counties are having the same damn issue that aren't getting on? They're not getting press.
Well, yeah, because they're too small or less
Yeah,
important or whatever.
exactly. Nobody cares. But at the same time, like, people should care that live there.
Right?
Yeah,
because your vote may not be counted. And remember, it flips around the other way. So the other people in power now, all of a sudden, your vote isn't counted.
But a dead guy's vote counts 3 times, right? 3 times. 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
3 times.
Oh, no, there's things in here. Yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
We got a lot.
Secretary of State's office to get clarification and ask the High Court to weigh in quickly to resolve the matter. Well, the court ruled that county officials lack the authority to change the status of these voters. Again, they had been on the books for some time. These are, generally speaking, older voters.
And why can't we get them to do their freaking job and take care of the damn situation?
Yeah. But why are they handcuffed? How come the counties are handcuffed to not be able to change the status?
You were elected for this reason. Well, it's part of it, of course. But I mean, you know what I mean.
You're elected to protect your people.
This is this is just unbelievable.
Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer, who originally sued, said on social media, "Thank you, Arizona Supreme Court, for your extremely quick and professional review of this matter." We will have more on this at 9.
Wow, they reviewed it. Wow, that's incredible. They reviewed it. That's awesome. I mean, this is just this is asinine. I mean, these people are unbelievable.
It's scary how your trust, and these are the kind of reasons, Barn, and folks out there listening, these are the kind of reasons why people like us don't trust the government anymore,
right?
Because you can fill me full of shit until I'm ready to burst, and stuff like this just keeps happening and happening and happening and happening. We ask questions, they don't give us answers. It's like asking Kamala a question. You ask questions and they give you, word salad, and nothing ever gets resolved. They don't change. Right. They don't change for the better. They don't change their systems. They don't fire people and bring in new people. And that's upsetting.
Why?
And that's why
are they not?
Well, because they got a nice comfy seat there, and they got 6 figures coming in. And why would they?
Because if they actually fix something, they wouldn't have anything to do. Maybe wouldn't have a job.
Yeah,
it's like if you ever driven down through Vegas on I-15, it's still torn up, and it's been freaking 15 years or 20 years or
25 years. Yeah. It's terrible.
And so an Uber driver talked to me about that. He's a foreigner guy, but he's living in Vegas for the last decade or whatever. And I said, "Oh my God, they're still working on this freaking freeway." He goes, "Yeah, they'll never get this thing done." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, because all the contractors and the politicians and everything, if they actually got it done, they would have anything else to do." But there's always something to do, and there's more roads to always fix and improve upon.
Yeah, I should have got into the road fixing business because I'd be a rich man at this point.
You just need a state contract and you'd be set for life, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So here, this is one of the things that makes me want to pull my freaking hair out, because this topic is House passes GOP bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote. How come that's not already in the law? I think it is, isn't it?
Already be there. It should be.
Oh my God. Let's listen to this here real quick.
House Republicans passed a bill requiring proof of U.S. citizenship for voter registration.
Okay. Interesting that it's the Republicans that are trying to pass this that require proof of citizenship. Then there's memes in there. You need an ID to drive. You need an ID to get into a bar or a club. You need an ID to get a hunting license or whatever. You need an ID to do this, and this. But one of the most important privileged things you can do as a citizen of a country is vote. And the Democrats only, because I haven't heard really very many, and if there are, they should be killed, shot, strung up with piano wire in the middle of the square and left to die as well, for allowing this, is no proof of citizenship or identity to vote.
Or identification to vote. Yeah. That's the most important thing, it's the most important privilege you have.
Yeah, I have to show my ID when I go to the doctor's office to make sure it's me to get medical treatment, or you name it. How many places do you have to show your ID to prove it's you? Another thing is you also can't get into Disneyland, for example, because they have a fence and a wall around it. And if you got in there illegally,
What happens?
You'd probably be arrested by the cops, because the security would get a hold of you and but it's okay for our country. Anyway, I digress. So let's continue on. It's interesting. The Democrats, why would you not want to have to allow somebody to show their ID? And don't give me this shit that is racist.
Well, because they got caught having dead people vote last go around. So this go around, I mean, they just wanted anybody and everybody to vote, whether you had identification or not. And maybe that didn't seem so nefarious. I don't know.
If I give you free shit, would I not kind of expect you and whatnot to want to continue to getting free shit? So you're going to continue voting for me, so I continue giving you free shit, right?
What was it? 12 million was the last count? 12 million?
Illegals that came over? Those are just the ones they know of, or that they've
that's
documented.
just the one thing. Right.
You could probably triple that.
Yeah, those are the ones that they've put up,
Yeah.
So, and gave them free shit. So you got at least 15 million votes there, maybe, on your side.
How much was the election determined by?
10?
Yeah, how much was the election determined by? How many people last time?
It was
like
100,000
people or something.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
So,
but
15, even 5 million would turn the tide, right?
Yeah, and that's 5 million dead people that got their vote in.
Or a million.
Just
be a million. Yeah. And we've got 10 times that, most likely 30 times that.
Anyway, its future is uncertain.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
in the Senate, with many Democrats calling it unnecessary. Connor Hansen explains one of the key issues for Republicans.
Unnecessary. I bet you did.
The yeas are 221, the nays are 198. The bill is passed.
A key part of their agenda, House Republicans passed the SAVE Act, expressing concerns that people in the country illegally could be voting in upcoming election.
Okay, how is that an agenda?
Yeah,
no, it's the law.
No, it's the law, dipshit.
It's not an agenda. The agenda is to not allow voting voters to have ID. That's an agenda.
That's what pisses me off about this mainstream media, is because they're allowed to throw words like that in there.
Mm-hmm.
And those are key words for people that are not, that are not asking the questions, that are the sheep,
words,
you know what I mean? And the sheep that don't want to know, and they don't want to ask questions. They just want to be taken care of by the state and the government and bullshit. And they want their handouts. Those are key words that really, they stick in their psyche.
Oh yeah,
and are used to fool them. And it's unfair. It's bullshit. It's not an agenda. It's the law.
Yeah, but let's call it that, so people think that it's something that GOP is doing that's nefarious.
Yeah, it's horse shit.
5 Democrats voted for it as well.
Let me be clear. non-citizen voting reduces confidence in our elections. American elections are for American citizens, and we intend to keep it that way.
The law would require people to provide documents proving their citizenship when they register to vote, and it would give states access to federal databases to help them remove non-citizens from the rolls.
And then Youngkin, remember in Virginia, he was trying to remove 60,000 or something like that, 6,000 or something, 6,000 people who admitted they were not citizens and and then the Department of Justice or whoever it was trying to come in and countersued them. No, you can't remove them off the ballots. What is going on?
Here's a question.
I mean, we know, but that's a rhetorical question.
Right. But here's a question for you. So I think it was almost that was part of the deal. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to let you come into this country. I'm going to give you $5,000 a month for your room and board. I'm going to give you basically an unlimited, debit card.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little bit of money so you can put a down payment on a vehicle. And then, but what I need from you
is your vote.
Is I need you to vote. Okay.
Yep.
I need you to vote for me. My question is so if I'm an illegal in a country,
right,
I'm not going to parade around, right? Like I'm going to stay to myself, maybe to my group of friends that came with me or that got me here. Yep. I'm going to be low key. I'm going to go get a non-job. You know what I mean? I'll go cut lawns or work at, a restaurant or something like that.
Yes, a lot of them do that. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And nothing flashy.
Right.
And I'm just going to live my life and enjoy the benefits of this country that I've come to, wherever it may be. My very last thought, dude, is to get on a voter registration poll, list.
Hi, I'm here.
Why would I put myself out like that? Especially if I'm illegal. And I've gotten my documents basically from the back door, and now I'm just kind of like
freebies that I'm not supposed to get.
Hanging out, yeah. I mean, why would I want to put myself out there like that? Why would I want the government to come to me and the risk my chance of staying here and for me to possibly get deported?
Yeah. Well,
why would I do that?
You're smart.
That's the thing. And so these people have to have it's almost like that free ride. Let's call it a free ride. Okay, let's lump in the housing, the insurance, the
healthcare,
the debit card,
food.
We just lump that all into one, and call it the free ride. And so there's you don't get the free ride without
paying
giving
the piper
something
a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta pay the piper. You gotta give something in return. And what is that? Is that a vote? Is
Probably.
that we have to house our human trafficking ring through your place, or you have to be a part of that? You are such a conspiracy theorist.
Jeez, seriously, ridiculous, dude. Come on.
I don't know. It's scary.
I know.
It's fucking scary.
Let's continue on. Let's hear some more of this bullshit that we're listening to. It's gonna boil everybody's blood some more. It's ridiculous.
Common sense solutions are not controversial.
State audits show it's rare for ballots from non-citizens to be counted, and they haven't impacted an election. Many Democrats argue the SAVE Act is unnecessary and could make it harder for some Americans if they've lost documents or if they're overseas and can't register in person.
Republicans are pushing a bill that will disenfranchise U.S. military personnel protecting us.
No, that is a lie.
That's
bullshit, dude. That is a
bullshit.
Fucking lie. Unbelievable.
Overseas from registering. It's unpatriotic and it's shameful.
Former President Trump supports the bill and stood with House Speaker Mike Johnson when he announced it. Trump says it would stop, quote, weaponization and cheating, but but opponents argue its purpose is far more cynical.
It only perpetuates lies now to set up even bigger lies later when they're unhappy with the outcome of the November election.
Like every Democrat from the last several elections complaining when they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they bitch that the election deniers on the Republican side, when they don't win. I mean, they do this. They're the biggest freaking hypocrites out there. I swear to God. Oh my, this gal should be ashamed of herself.
Yeah, she should.
She really should. This is unbelievable.
As Connor Hansen reporting, the SAVE Act would still have to survive the Democrat-led Senate and the White House, which has voiced opposition to the bill.
Huh. That's a shocker. Wonder why would they oppose ID and all that?
It's shameful is what it is.
Yeah.
It's very
it is just unbelievable, this shit. And people don't get it, because the sad thing is like we've said, I don't know how many times, that if it's your team and you're rooting for them, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong at that point. Mm-hmm. And so this is the crazy thing. So to a lot of these people turn your blind eye and just don't know. So it's crazy. We cut it here for a second. Are you okay on time?
I got about. I like to cut by if we can cut by 11, I think we'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Let's whip through these. We're doing a lot of commentary, and we'll try to get through at least to get the info out there. So
all right.
All right. So now we've got some more we're going to present here to you, so you can kind of see more of the stuff coming on. But this talks again about undocumented immigrants are getting driver's licenses. Thank you to people like our good buddy Tim Walls, balls to the walls, and other people in states like Pritzker in Illinois. Putting this shit together. So once you get a driver's license, that's pretty much your ID at that point. So that kind of negates what we just were talking about.
Also in effect today, eligible undocumented immigrants can apply for standard driver's licenses in Illinois.
How are they
Officials
eligible?
hope this reduces driving without.
Yeah, say that again.
Yeah, what makes you eligible?
Right, you're undocumented, which means you're illegal.
Yeah, that means you're uneligible.
Right.
And makes the roads across the state safer. Sabrina Franza is live for us on this. And Sabrina, how different is this new law from what we've seen before?
Hey, Marie, this new law replaces what was known as TVDL. That's a temporary visitor's driver's license with a standard Illinois driver's license, much like the one most documented Americans have here in the state of Illinois.
So why separate it? Why not just do them all? There's no separation of people who shouldn't be here for the temporary. Why are we getting rid of the temporary one? That is like it's like a work visa. You are allowed to work here, but you're not a citizen, and it shows that. So you can still work, but you are not supposed to get all the benefits of being a citizen.
Right.
None of this shit makes any freaking sense to anybody with half a brain in their head saying, you know what, this doesn't sound right. This is not who we are as a country.
That's bullshit, because this is who we have had to become to protect our country.
Yeah.
To be honest. And don't get me wrong, like if you're coming over on a work visa, or you're coming over and doing it correctly, doing it lawfully, getting your citizenship, going to the damn classes, learning learning what do they got to learn, the Constitution and all this shit. I don't know what they have to do, but at the same time, do what it takes. And then if you are so inclined to vote in our elections
and have the balls to do that.
And then have the balls to do that, have the balls to get your citizenship correctly. And then you can vote in like 3 years or whenever you came in. It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that is, if that's what you want to do, because I tell you what, 9 out of the 10 illegal, undocumented immigrants that come to the U.S. They're not interested in the politics. They don't give a fuck about politics. All they want
they want the
is
freebies.
right. They want the freebies. They want to live happy, comfortably, and not have to work and not have to worry about their families getting taken
Right.
by cartels or whatever the fuck, or being stuck in a war that they don't agree with.
Yeah.
They're fleeing for some freedom.
Yep. Well, and to show you this is not just an isolated case in Illinois and maybe New York and all that. Here's a little. I'm just going to play a couple seconds of this, but here, over several hundred non-citizens mistakenly registered to vote in Oregon. I'm not sure how that's a mistake.
That the DMV and the Secretary of State's office continues to look into, but based on the findings so far, they firmly believe this was a clerical error, a data processing error, and not a coordinated effort to register non-citizens to vote.
You just admitted exactly what you were doing. Unfreaking believable. You just admitted exactly what you're doing by saying, "Oh, no, we weren't doing that." Yeah, you were. just saying, you were.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean, it's like,
it's unbelievable. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And Oregon, does it surprise you?
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, it's just. And this thing that sucks is Oregon's really kind of a cool place.
I mean, it's a beautiful
it's a really
place,
pretty state.
and I love my family that I have up there. But good, Criminy.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. Here's another. Oh my God! I got to show these real quick because if people don't believe this is coming from different sources. Now this is out of Chicago again, and the driver's license now available for undocumented immigrants.
Legislation takes effect in Illinois today that improves the license process for immigrant drivers.
WGN's Sean Lewis is live at the National Museum of Mexican Art in Pilsen with details. Hi,
Okay,
Sean.
we don't need to go into the details because that tells you what it is. It's a news story from WGN, a pretty famous TV station that's all over the country and lots of cable channel packages from different things.
It's been a staple for years.
It's been a staple for years. And so they're talking about it. The other people were talking about it. Now let's see the next one here. Okay, so this is where Governor Abbott out of Texas. I'm just trying to get through all this stuff because I know time is short this morning. So we're going to try to rip through this real quick. But this is, Governor Abbott signing a bill keeping illegals from being able to vote.
In 2021, Governor Abbott signed Senate Bill 1 into law to create statewide voting hours, maintain and expand voting access for registered voters needing assistance, prohibit drive-through voting, and authorize poll watchers to observe more aspects of the election process. It also banned distribution of unsolicited mail-in ballot applications and ballots and requires ID for mail-in ballots.
Texas constantly goes about the process of reviewing voter rolls to remove people who are not eligible to vote. And this account happens to be from the year of 2021. And so the size of more than 1 million people being removed is a pretty large amount.
We've seen. Yeah, because they're all dead or they're illegal or something. I mean, it's just like, it just goes on. I mean, I've got a bunch more, dude. I'm just telling you, it just goes on and on. Here's one. We're talking about Georgia approves hand counting ballots. That would be awesome because that would be awesome. Let's see where's the story here. Okay, so this is interesting. We'll get this going.
More ballot news this morning. The Arizona Supreme Court unanimously ruled Friday that nearly 100,000 voters whose citizenship documents had not been confirmed will be allowed to vote in state and local.
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? Dude.
It's laughable at this point. Why?
If people aren't seeing what we're showing them right now is actually happening, they're fooling themselves. They are lying to themselves, and there's conspiracy. Get your head out of the sand, please, for the love of God. Get your head out of the sand because this is it. Now, This, real quick, is going to boil your blood real quick because it talks about how immigrants fight for voting rights.
Why?
Are you freaking kidding me?
It's about whether people who live permanently in the city but aren't U.S. citizens should be able to vote in local elections.
A law granting them voting rights was approved back in 2021, but halted after a group of Republicans sued the city. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt walks us through the details of the case.
Diana Woojum Park and her family immigrated from Korea when she was 1 year old. It has been decades, and her parents cannot vote. She and other immigrant
Are they
advocates
citizens
are
yet
hoping a New
then,
York
or what?
State
Just
Supreme
because you
Judge
sit here
will
for a length of time,
reinstate a city law allowing non-citizens
immigrants
to vote
deserve a
in
vote.
city elections.
This is for a pathway to citizenship and for our rights.
City.
Oh my God, I
No,
really
it's
hate that
not.
pathway to citizenship.
That's bullshit. If you didn't do the work to
Yeah.
become a citizen, then you don't get to vote. Period.
No.
Sorry.
There are supposed to be privileges to being a citizen. Apparently there's not. You get more privileges and more benefits from being an illegal, coming over into this country illegally. And just because your parents came here and they didn't do anything. Now, I don't know. Did her parents become citizens? Because if they did, then she has a case. She has a point. Absolutely, they should be able to vote if they're now citizens. But if they're not,
it wouldn't even be a question.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's just
the thing is too. So if they never got their citizenship, then she's not a citizen,
right?
Because she came when she was 1. If she was
Yeah.
born here, then she would have been a citizen naturally,
right. Which
However,
I don't agree with. You know, I don't think
necessarily as either. But at the same time, I mean, by the time that they're old enough to have a say so or move the world in any situation, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be dead.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but I look at it. I
mean,
look at
at
it
this
like,
point, yeah.
I mean, I look at it like you have parents who, okay, just the immigrant crisis that came over, and you got a gal who's pregnant who's traveled up to the border to come over illegally, and she knows she's doing it because she's being paid by this Soros NGOs, you know, and all that stuff. And they come over and then they drop the kid here. Now, all of a sudden, the kid magically is a citizen just because mom and dad came all the way up here. You know what I'm saying? So there's an issue there I kind of have a problem with. I understand your viewpoint, but that is a little bothersome.
I understandably, and it bothers me as well. But I can say, but those are the people that do that, and I'm talking about, like, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt of, you know, of old time immigration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they just want something better for their children, and this is the only way that they can figure out how to do that, right?
But you could do it legally, though.
Yes,
there's ways to do this.
Yes, very much so. And that's the whole thing. Like, you know, if she's bitching and moaning because her parents came over illegally and then they never did the paperwork to get their citizenship, then no.
Yeah.
You and all your generations. I mean, of course, if she has kids, obviously now they're naturalized and they're going to be citizens. But, you know, whoever came from those first two, sorry, you don't get the privileges. You don't do the work, you don't get the privileges.
Exactly.
If you don't play, I don't know.
If you don't play by the rules.
Yeah, if you don't play by the rules, you don't get the fucking trophy. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And this is kind of just showing there's a lot of stuff going on. This is why this immigration crisis at the border, and it is, and you have Kamala sitting there going, "Oh, the border has been secure. The border is secure. That's the biggest issue in my head is to make sure that we have a secure border." But you haven't done shit for the last 4 years, and you were the border czar, and you've allowed all these people to come over. Now we have seen documented after documented after documented incidents of people who came into this country illegally, getting driver's licenses, being allowed to vote. And then we have the court systems in these states that are sitting there going, "Oh yeah, it's totally fine. Let's let them vote." You know, and it's absolutely asinine. we're going to wrap this one up as part 1 because we need to come back and do a part 2 about the voting machines.
About the goddamn voting machines
that are changing vote. Oh no, voting machines are changing votes. So we'll do a part 2 on that. So please come back and check that out shortly. Meanwhile, this is the Rude Barn and Rude Barn podcast. Go to our Etsy store, therudebarn.etsy.com. Check out our merch there so we can kind of support the channel. There's some cool stuff. I'll throw some screenshots up in the editing.
There's some super cool stuff that we've got. Great hats, great shirts, great stuff. Great stuff.
Absolutely. So come back and check us out. Come back for part 2 where we talk about how the voting machines, it's the most secure election, the most secure voting system in the history of voting systems, how they can be hacked easily, how they're changing votes, how we don't know what
Barn.
vote
It was a
they're going
clerical
to.
error. It was a clerical error.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking? Anyway, thanks again for checking this out and come back, check out part 2, part D, if you will. And we'll talk about the voting machines now that we've talked about how the illegals are coming over. And this is all under Kamala, and all her shit. And she can't answer a question on why this stuff is happening or whatever. Anyway, we can go on. But anyway, thanks for joining us, y'all. We'll see you on the next one for part 2.
Question everything, gang.